In this lesson, we'll review a problem from a reading passage. This is part of the critical reading section. We're on page 477, question 10. 10 is the first question, but if you recall, the progressive level of difficulty does not apply only with the sentence completions, but not the reading passage questions. And in fact, this is a level 4 question. It's pretty common, and if you follow these lessons, I want to tell you the best approach for answering questions involving primary purpose of the passage. Now, the first question you have to ask yourself, is it a fiction or a nonfiction? Remember, on the test, 3 of the 4 long passages are nonfiction and only 1 is fiction. And the reason I distinguish is if it's nonfiction, and you can always glean that from the italics. Here we have it was adapted from a 1995 book about astronomy. Fiction, you'd have to see the word. It's from a short story or a novel. But the reason I distinguish is if it's nonfiction, that first paragraph will give you the primary purpose always. It'll give you the main theme. And so you can get in the habit of sort of predicting the main theme, but the best piece of advice, it is never the same language as you see in the passage. It's always restated. So the main theme will always have 2 parts. The first part is pretty straightforward. It's just the subject. What is it about? But the second part is how is that subject described? We'll call it the descriptive part. So I'm just going to read, and you can follow along in the book. I'm on page 477, question 10, just the very first paragraph, about the first 9 lines. Apart from the moon and occasional comets and asteroids, Venus is our nearest neighbor. Its orbit brings it closer to Earth than any other planet, only 26 million miles away at certain times. So right there, we're not done, but we know it's leading toward Venus. Despite that proximity, for a long time it was termed the planet of mystery. This is because the atmosphere of Venus is so dense, so cloud-laden, and its surface is permanently hidden from sight. That's the end of the paragraph. So the subject here, we're going to predict it. We know the subject is Venus. But the descriptive part, how is Venus portrayed? So even though it's close to Earth, despite the proximity, it was termed the planet of mystery because it was dense and cloud-laden, hidden from sight. So we're just going to use the language that you see in the passage. It's sort of this planet of mystery. So if you see the first question, primary purpose, you will never see Venus, the planet of mystery. That is too literal. You always have to sort of make an inference. It gets restated. So I'm just going through the choices here. A, criticize the lack of research on a topic of a mystery. Criticize, there's nothing critical about this. It has the word mystery, and that should be a telling point. It's probably not the answer. It doesn't. It's not going to use the language mystery. B, speculate about life on another world. You know, that's too broad. Another world, we're talking about Venus, and we're not speculating. We're talking about it being a mysterious planet. C, lament the demise of a compelling story. Lament is to sort of grieve the demise, the downfall. No. D, illustrate the principles of planetary research. Again, it's a little too broad. The answer here is E, and let's read it. Discuss attempts to understand an astronomical enigma. So here, Venus is not even mentioned. It's called astronomical, right? Astronomy. And it's not called mystery. It's called an enigma. And this is how vocab gets tested. Enigma is a riddle or a mystery. It's an astronomical enigma. It's definitely the best choice. And this is a level 4. Tough question, but you really should get in the habit on the nonfiction passage predicting the main idea, which is the subject and the descriptive part. All right. See you next time. Thanks for watching.